Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Sellerboard Show. My name is Vladi, and my today's guest is Shimmy Morris, an Amazon entrepreneur, a coach, and a YouTuber. Hi, Shimmy.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Very, very good. I'm
So,
looking forward to
Shimmy, you're based in London, right?
it. Yeah, I'm based in London.
Nice. How's the weather in London?
And actually, today it's quite nice. Usually it's raining. This day's quite nice.
Okay. All right. Is it like hot over there, or is it never getting?
Well, I mean, it's the summer, so it's as hot as it could be, like 23, 24.
Wow.
Nothing crazy.
Okay, not bad. Shimmy, let's talk about your Amazon story, or maybe we can start by you introducing yourself to our customers or our audience. So, just tell us a couple of words. What are you doing, and how did you get there?
So my name is Shimmy. I am currently 24 years old and started starting our Amazon business 4 and a bit, maybe 5 years ago when I was about 19, 20. Um, I now have a full Amazon business and I run it with my brother, Josh. And we also have a coaching, like business coaching, Amazon coaching business on the side as well.
Hmm. And is it like your full time? I guess it's your full time job, right?
Yeah. So I do like, yeah, it's my full time job, but I do other things for like hobby jobs like photography or videography or my YouTube channel, stuff like that.
Yeah, nice. So tell me, like, how did you decide to go to Amazon, and why did you even start it?
Well, literally 4 and a bit years ago, we came across a program called Amazing Selling Machine, and it's very, very expensive, something like $5,000, something ridiculous like that. I don't remember exactly, maybe it was four. And Josh saw it and wanted to do it, but he couldn't afford it at the time because he didn't have that much money, and I
Hmm.
didn't have a crazy amount of money. So he came to me and he said, "Look, do you want to do this business together? We can buy the course together, split it, and see where it takes us."
Yeah.
So I still remember him sitting on his bed, literally just like told me to come into his room and was like, "I've got this really cool idea. Should we do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's try it." So then we both bought the course. We took the training together, and that started where we are now.
And did you actually start selling on Amazon.com or UK?
We started with Amazon.com because that's really what the course told us. But we saw our business really took off when we came into the UK, just because our profit margins drastically improved at the time when the pound was slightly more, slightly better than it is now. Our profit margins drastically improved. So, but we did start with the US.
Okay, cool. And tell me what's your background? Like, what did you do before this?
Well, before Amazon, I was only 19 when I started, so I was in
Okay.
school a couple of years
Oh,
earlier. But
okay. So that's
just
like
before,
you actually never had a full-time job, right?
I've never had a job.
Wow.
Before Amazon, I had a t-shirt company.
Okay.
And before that, I just bought and sold stuff throughout high school.
Hmm.
But no, I've never had a 9 to 5 job in my life.
Wow. Cool. I worked like, I don't know, 10, 15 years in different corporations. So respect. That sounds nice. All right. So tell me, actually, like, uh, how many products are you launching on average I guess, per
Well,
year at the moment?
so okay, so for us, we tend to launch a product and get it to 10 grand a month, and then launch our next product rather than just
Hmm.
mass launch.
Hmm.
So we had one product for quite a while, and then so at the moment we've got about four products
Hmm.
on Amazon, which is making us a perfect amount of money. But there was a time about 2 years ago when we had about 18 products.
Hmm.
But then we did the 80/20 rule, and we found out they were making us money, but for the amount of time and effort put into them, we were making a lot more money off a few of the products. So
Hmm.
we dropped a whole bunch of them and just stuck to the ones that were doing the best and then focus on those. And now we're probably going to launch our next product in the next maybe 3 months,
Hmm.
hopefully.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So tell me, like, what's different with respect to picking the product and launching now comparing to like 3, 4 years ago?
4 years ago was definitely easier. There was a lot more to choose from. I mean, I still think there's a lot to choose from, but there was definitely more to choose from back then because not many people knew the strategies. Um, there were no tools when we started, so there was no Jungle Scout or anything like that to use. We had to all do it manually ourselves. So that was massive difference. So in that sense, it's a lot easier to find opportunities now because of all these tools.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the process of getting a product and getting up Amazon was definitely easier back then because you could do mass giveaways and all these different things, which tend to be a bit harder now. Now I believe if you want to have a successful Amazon business, it's more also about building a brand rather than just a one-time product or two products or
Mm-hmm.
just uploading products. You really want to hone in on your brand.
So actually, are you like doing? I assume it's private label, right? Because if it's only 4 products,
Yeah.
then Mhm. Okay. Um, so tell me, like, do you think um, you talked about the tools, right? And the tools can give you a product with a low amount of stars and a good BSR and so on. But
Yeah, exactly.
like, would you recommend to go all in for the brand and go deep, on a small number of products, or like go through the analytical way more or less, right? And just go by numbers.
I
What's
think you
your
should go by numbers and by brand. So
Mhm.
I definitely don't think you should substitute one for the other. So make sure a product is going to be good with all the numbers and all of that. And
Mhm.
once you found a solid product, then create a really cool brand around that product. And it just makes your business a lot more sellable towards the end. So if you just are going for random products one after the other and you try and sell your company, no one's gonna really understand what you're selling because you're just selling a lot of random stuff. Whereas if you look for a good product and then build a brand around it and maybe add some other not so important products, not for
Mhm.
sales, just so you can beef up the brand when it
Mhm.
comes to selling it, instead of selling an Amazon business, you're now selling a brand like
Mhm.
Nike or Adidas or anything like that. And it just makes it a lot more valuable.
Okay, but like, tell me, one question that I'm getting asked a lot is this Amazon like a sustainable opportunity, right? Because uh, what I mean is, um, when people are picking new products like by numbers, as you said, and maybe adding some more brand stuff to it or logos and everything, um, you know. Everybody's looking at the same tools, right? And everybody's basically
Yeah.
teaching similar stuff, right? So there are more and more people coming in. So how are you going to make sure that if you launch a product and try, to start a brand around it, that it's still there like in 3 years?
Well, I mean, that's the brilliance of the brand. So if you do the brand properly, you don't really have to worry so much about competition coming in. If you don't do the brand and you just do the Amazon stuff, then that's where competition can come in and overtake you very easily. But the difference is if you start and 3 years later other people come in with the exact same product, you're going to have 3 years worth of reviews, 3 years worth of rank, and 3 years worth of sales.
Hmm.
So chances are it's going to be very hard for them to overtake you. Which is why, again, when we do product research, we look for those products that, yes, they may have been selling for 3 or 4 years, but it's easy to compete with because they don't have that many reviews or that many sales.
Hmm.
So if we're having lots of sales and we have lots of reviews, I'm not so worried about newcomers. It doesn't really make a difference to our lives.
Like, do you have maybe some actionable hacks or tips which are uh, like current today? We're in August 2019. Like, is there any hot niche or I don't know, maybe some parameter to look for when picking a product?
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to give a niche because niches are constantly changing
Hmm.
and it will make this video very outdated in like a week. But in terms of just hacks, firstly, I would say everyone will give you criteria. We give you criteria as well, like how many reviews you should be aiming for,
Hmm.
what their BSR should be, what their star rating should be, how many sales they should be getting. So, for example, we say a product with 100 to 300 reviews you can compete with, or BSR of 0 to 2,500 you can compete with,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But then, very important to understand is those are the rules, but occasionally it's actually good to break the rules. So, for example, we say don't go for product less than $15 to $20 or pounds because your profit margin will be too low. However, you want to break that rule if you find a great product with amazing demand, amazing competition, but the price is $7, then just find 3 of those and launch 3 of them back to back. So now you have effectively a $21 product over 3 products.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's the same profit margin as just having one product, but those products happen to be getting many more sales, much easier to compete with, all these different things. So sometimes it's okay to break the rules if there's too many reviews, but there's so much demand, or there's not that much demand, but there's literally no reviews. You can probably tap into that market. So whatever criteria someone is telling you, look at it, but also potentially maybe break it if you see a reason to.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned that you are giving criteria to people. So you have a course, right? Can you talk to us a little bit about your course? Like what's it called?
Yeah, sure. So
What is it that you're
we
teaching?
have we were selling on Amazon for quite a while, and we said to ourselves, when we hit a certain goal, we wanted to make a course. So I think at the time that goal was something like $400,000. So after we hit that, we then decided to create a course. So we went away for about 3 weeks, away from everything, internet, everything, and just focused on building out an Amazon course, literally step by step, exactly what we did kind of course. It's called It Is an University. We've got about 260 students now, which is really cool. And it's a course that spans over about 6 weeks. So when you sign up, you get the first 2 weeks straight away. And then every week you'll get the next week. It will like unlock as you go. And that way you're not overwhelmed with information, because you don't need to learn how to get sales if you don't even know how to find a product yet. So we tested both ways, giving all the information at once, but we found doing it this way was yielding a lot more success with our students. So we changed it. So now it's every week you'll get a new module, and yeah, so it's for beginners, but it's also, as you go through the course, it helps advance people, because we have all the advanced tactics, like scaling, moving into other countries, advanced Facebook marketing, Google marketing, all these kind of things. But as well as that, we also have the basic how to find a product, and that kind of stuff. But then what we have, which other courses don't have, which I love, is because I'm a photographer, I'm able to give a very unique angle on product photos and actually explain the mentality behind product photos and what works and why it works. And because Josh is a copywriter, he's able to do the same thing with the description, the title, and the bullet. So he's able to teach you how to emotionally connect with your customers, and not just have good copy, but get them to feel emotionally attached to your product before even buying it. And so the point where they feel they have to buy it, they don't really have a choice anymore. So it's really cool. And it's basically how we were able to teach people how to get our 80% conversion rates that we get on our product page.
80%.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. We don't get 80% all the time, but there's a point where occasionally we're just hitting 80% and we're just like, holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. So that's our course. It's an university. It's quite a cool course. We love it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a whole community with it on Facebook and everything.
Guys, we'll put the link in the description. Make sure you check it out.
Nice.
I have you mentioned a couple of interesting topics, and making some notes. I have a couple of questions. So first of all, would you recommend like customizing and changing the product a lot, or
well, it depends. If you feel like your product is not hit perfection, but if you feel like your product is at its highest quality compared to all your competitors, then there's no point spending money changing it. Packaging, I can understand changing, keeping up to date, maybe with the slip that you put inside your product. I can understand maybe updating that every so often. But your actual product, for example, our first one we had for about a year. We then was able to afford to make a better, more custom product. So we went and we got it made a much better. So now I personally feel like our product is one of the highest qualities. So we don't really have a reason to make it even better. What we might do is add stuff with our product, like a PDF guide or some freebies or all these kind of things to stay to stay up to date with it. But changing the physical product that we're selling, it's a bit of a waste of time.
Okay, cool. You mentioned that when you moved to the UK, you saw like a revenue boost, right? Or your profits increased. Let's talk about that. What's actually the sales that one can expect in UK comparing to Amazon.com?
Well, in the UK, we found that it was, because it's a much smaller market, it was a lot easier to get to the number one spot. And because we were the number one for a bit, because we're up there with 1 to 3, we're able to see maybe 50 or 60 sales. But it's impossible to say how much money there is to be made in the UK because it completely depends on your product and your niche. In our niche, we know exactly how much that can be made. But there's obviously more to be made in the US. There's no doubt about that. If you're the number one in the US or you're the number one in the UK, you'll be making far more in the US. But getting to the number one in the US is 10 times harder than getting to number one in the UK.
What's like? Do you have an estimation? For example, I was selling in Germany previously, and my rule of thumb was like, if you see a product in the US with a certain BSR and a niche, then probably you're going to get like 1/10 of the sales in terms of units with the same BSR in Germany, right? So like, I guess
the German's probably a bit bigger than the UK as well, I think. Yeah, so the German Amazon is probably it is bigger than the UK. But I've never really worked it out like that, the 1/10 or anything like that. But yeah, it's very hard to say. I mean, we were getting more sales in the UK than we were in the US because of our rank. So because we've never had a product hit number one in the US, it's hard to compare. We've been in the top 5 or top 6 in the US. And when we were doing that, we were getting maybe 50-ish sales a day. In the UK, being in the top 3, we're getting also about 50 to 70 sales a day. So I can imagine.
I understand.
Yeah, being number one in the US, we're probably done 150 sales a day.
Yeah,
because the first 2 people get all the sales, and then the rest kind of goes down.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, what if somebody wants to start in the UK? What do they have to do? Like, do they need a company in the UK or VAT and stuff like this? Maybe can you tell us the main bureaucratical hurdles?
So well, in the UK, you can start as a sole trader if you really wanted to. We don't really recommend that because we recommend starting as a business. It just makes it easier down the line as well. So you set up a limited company in the UK, which is really easy. £12. It's not expensive. It's not like an LLC in the US. It's really cheap. You can do it in about an hour. Yeah. We have a video in our course like detailing the steps because it's really easy. So you don't even need an accountant to do it for you. So yeah, you can set up that's why we recommend it. You set up a limited company.
Do you know if it's also possible for foreigners to create a limited company in UK so fast, or?
I believe it is. I just feel like you need to have a UK address or someone with a UK address. That's also have family, cousin, or maybe even a PO box somewhere in the UK. Then it becomes a lot easier. But if you are just a foreigner with no connection to the UK, then it's a bit harder. But yeah, once you set that up, you set up a business Amazon account rather than a private or personal Amazon account, and you just get going. So what we would recommend after setting up a limited company is to also set up a business bank account, and that's also slightly harder for a foreigner, but it's still possible. You could link it with your bank account where you are, but the best thing is to have a UK bank account with a UK company. And then once it's all linked and you set up your Amazon account, you just get going. You start uploading products and making money.
What about VAT? Like, is there something to worry about?
Well, VAT, you only have to be VAT registered. I think if you're over 80, if you're making over 85,000 £1,000 revenue a year, I think it's 85. It could be 81. They may have just changed it. If you're not making that much revenue a year, you don't need to be VAT registered, so you don't need to worry about it. As soon as you are VAT registered, you pay 20% VAT on your revenue, and that's how it works every quarter. Okay,
well, that's easier than in Germany for sure. So in Germany, this limit is way smaller. It's like 17,500 euros.
Much harder.
and you need to file the VAT reports every month. So there is no option to do it once in 3 months. So it's quite a lot of work, actually.
Yeah,
Like
that's why we're not going to Germany at the moment, because it's very stressful.
although, like, I don't know, depending on the Brexit situation, you may start selling in Germany already if you're not, if you don't have stock in Germany, because then
become a lot harder. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So, like, would you recommend for somebody who just starts to go to UK or to US with your experience, or both?
For someone who's just starting out, I would always recommend going to their country. So if someone's in the US, stick to the US. If someone's from the UK, stick to the UK. If someone's from Germany, stick to Germany. Likewise with France, Spain, all these other countries, just because it will make your life easier. And as soon as you get the ropes on how to do it, then move into broader markets.
And if somebody's from, let's say, Australia is a bad example, from Argentina, so they don't really care.
Fair. If someone's from Argentina, yeah, okay, that makes sense. If someone's from Argentina, I would usually recommend America or the UK. America, if they feel like they can put the extra work in and really, really try and find a good product. Or the UK, if they're looking for something a slightly quicker. I reckon America, a startup time for America is maybe 4 to 5 months to get yourself really going. Whereas in the UK, I reckon it's about 2 to 3 months. So depending on their money and their time, then they go for either.
Okay, got it. All right, let's talk about launch. So you mentioned you're going to launch a new product soon. We know these giveaways are not really working anymore. You know, there are some restrictions on promotions or on the amount of promotion you can give. So how do people launch these days?
That's a tough question, but a huge part of launching, I think, is advertising and creating pre-buzz. So getting people ready for you to launch your product so that you can get an immediate boost of sales. I still think you should get friends to buy the product to try and get some reviews that way, like full price sales, normal sales to get some reviews. But I think the main factor would be Amazon ads, just a huge influx of Amazon ads. You might not make money on it, but a huge influx of Amazon ads plus a very, very low starting price will get you a large amount of sales volume, which will in time get you up the ranks. So we always say that the first order that you make isn't going to make you any money. So if you order 500 units or 100 units from China, don't expect to make money from that. Expect to buy your rank with that amount of stock, either through advertising or break-even pricing strategies or things like that. That make sense?
Yes, totally. But like, tell me, for example, if I'm launching a niche and somebody has 70 reviews there, like, is it even a good niche to launch in if my competitor has 70 reviews, for example?
100%. 70 reviews is nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely. But also look at their star rating. Are there 70 reviews with 4 stars or 70 reviews with 3.5 stars? Because I think another thing we tend to look at with product research is we look for products that have bad ratings. Because then we come in there with 5 stars and immediately be unique from the competition.
Okay. But you know how basically you need to earn 70 reviews somehow. And okay, you can maybe find 1 or 2 or maybe 5 or ask some friends and family, but in the end you're gonna need like a similar amount, right? Or maybe
eventually. Like you have, like, an important thing to understand is as soon as you hit 10 reviews, it doesn't matter if you have 10 reviews or 100 reviews. It's just getting double digits. So we looked at the conversion rates of a product with 0 to 10 reviews, and then 10 onwards. So 10 reviews is when you're doing absolutely fine and there's nothing to worry about. So it's just getting those initial 10 reviews, which you should really worry about. But after that, just get natural reviews through getting sales.
Okay, that's interesting. I think that's a valuable piece of statistics. 10 reviews is sort of a magical tipping point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. Then my next question about reviews, because I was going to ask, how do you make 70 reviews or 100 reviews or 1,000 reviews or whatever? But if actually, that's a good point. You don't even need them, right? But Yeah, my next question is, I guess, if you compare UK to the US, what's your impression on the review rate? I mean, how many customers review a product, or how many buyers?
I reckon in the US, it's probably like I think it's 100 to 1, so 100 sales to 1 review.
Hmm.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. In the US, I reckon it's probably less than 100. However, in the US, what I've noticed is people are a lot more blunt. So you get a lot more negative reviews in the US than you do in the UK.
Okay.
Um, yeah, people leave negative reviews about everything. Like if they get the product and it is not the most perfect thing crafted by God for them, then they'll leave a bad review kind of thing. So we found that quite a lot with quite a few, with a lot of our students, a lot of our products. We found that the US, they gave a lot harsher reviews, whereas the UK, people are a bit more reserved. They don't, if they're going to give you a bad review, maybe they'll email you first, or they'll just be like, no, I'm not going to give any review kind of thing.
Wow, that's interesting. Actually, I was having a similar conversation with somebody, and we compared US to Germany, and basically what you were just saying about US, they were saying about Germany comparing to US. So I guess
Germany would be really bad.
Germany is really bad, yeah. And by the way, this ratio is, I would say, rather 1 to 1,000 in Germany. So from 1,000
Wow.
sales, you get one review. So it's
Wow.
really, really tough. I don't know. Germans just don't write
Okay.
reviews, and if they do, then just bad reviews. um, and so you're saying, like, in the UK, it's on average similar to the US?
I would say it's about 100 to 1. Yeah. But it depends on how well you build your branding. So
Mhm.
if you build up your branding and you build an email list and you have a good slip,
Mhm.
you could easily get that to 50 to 1 or 40 to 1. Depends how you deal with your customers after. So a lot of the time we email our customers after. We have a sequence.
Yeah,
We have an email sequence to make sure they're happy, make sure they're doing well, and to also get reviews, basically.
yeah. Okay, cool. So basically, when you're saying slip, by the way, you mean like a credit or a business card or something, or card
Yeah, like a little
inside
piece
of
of
the
paper,
box?
like an A5 piece of paper that you slip inside.
Hmm.
Well, we get our suppliers to slip inside the packaging,
Hmm.
which says thank you, and gives them some feedback, gives them some information, maybe even a discount, and also says if you like the product, please leave a review and some instructions.
Okay. So one more question. How exactly do you point them to the product on this slip? Like, do you have a short URL or something like this, or you just write, okay, log in into your Amazon account, click on your order, or how do you do that?
How do we get them to leave a review? Are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, like on this slip, basically you should say something like, please review our product, right?
Yes, we have a
And
step. We have 3 steps. So step
mhm,
one, log into Amazon and go to your order page. Step
mhm,
two, locate the order and click leave product review.
mhm.
Step three, leave the review. We make
Okay.
sure to leave a product review, not a seller review, because seller
Yeah.
reviews are a bit useless.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess for a lot of customers, it's not obvious, how to get a review, and they would
Yeah.
rather
Really
like a link,
cool.
but there is no link on the slip, right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
could do a link. You could do like a bit.ly link if you really wanted to. That's a good idea. Because then that way you can give them a link where it leads them straight to that product page review
Mhm.
page. Um, but then you're leaving yourself open to having a link on your slip, which might not work after a couple of months, and then you'd have to redo all of your slips, which costs money.
Mhm. Okay, so guys, slips and a follow-up sequence.
Yeah.
This is what you need to get reviews. And I guess if it's like 1 to 100 in UK, then it's probably realistic to launch just by ads, right? And
Yeah.
just collect those 10 reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can just do hard with ads.
Because like in Germany, that's totally unrealistic. So you would need to make 10,000 sales to get basically 10 reviews, right? And if you go just by ads, and it's very, very hard to get 10,000 sales.
That's
Just
crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's still a good strategy to turn on or to run PPC ads when you're launching,
Of
but
course.
you just can't. I guess it's hard to rely on them all only on them for collecting the initial reviews.
Yeah. I mean, there's always other strategies as well. Like with the pre-buzz is going to blogs and all that kind of stuff. And we have a lot more ideas in the course and laying out a lot more things because a lot of people don't want to hear oh, I have to just set up ads. So there's obviously a lot more other. There's a lot other strategies that you can do. Obviously, all in Amazon's terms and conditions. So we don't suggest people giving away like 100 a day, but we definitely suggest like we're using influence marketing, influential marketing, stuff like that. All these other strategies. So there are other things to just ads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me, I guess my last question would be about like the brand. What you mentioned, influence marketing. That's a good start. What do you do outside of Amazon typically to support your brand?
So a lot of it is social media marketing: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. A lot of it is talking to blogs, maybe even talking to shops, depending on your product, talking to influencers, creating posts, trying to do guest posts. A lot of it is creating just buzz, maybe even going as far as taking out ads in local papers and stuff like that, really going old guerrilla style marketing. But yeah, I mean, the probably the best one is Instagram, because you've got all the influencers and it's very, very easy to get seen on Instagram.
Okay, very cool. So Shimmy, thanks so much for this. We'll put the link to your course into the
Awesome.
description, and I will also put a link to your YouTube account. Is there anything else or any other places people can find you on?
The course and the YouTube account, that's pretty much it for the moment of finding me. I mean, I could give you all of my social media links, but that's not necessary.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Thanks so much, and see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
See you guys.